Omid and Kojo Show.
Oh Lord, we were going to do a stretching one today, but I didn't have time to prepare it, so we're just going to have a chat about some things. So if anyone has any questions, tricking related, then we'll do our best to answer them. And yeah, just have a chat about some tricking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a bit of that.
Talk about all that beardness. So what's going on with you at the minute? Well, let's start with the personal side. How are tricks for you? How's the body? What's happening with it?
Well, my back's fucked, isn't it?
Yeah.
So my back died about 5 days ago, so I've just been working on my B-twist tutorial, my B-twist guide, which is taking forever, but it's coming.
Forever. Ever.
Forever.
There's a comment here that says, when you're flipping, do you believe in Jesus?
Only in flips.
Only in flips.
Just mid-flip, do a quick prayer.
It's only when no part of my body touches the earth, I ascend, you see.
Oh, the spiritual flips experience. That's why we make those faces in the air. It's like,
yeah.
It's like speaking in tongues when you're upside down, when you're in flips. You're just one with a higher power. Yeah.
One with the omnipotent being that is Allah.
Yeah. Yeah, that. Like, how can I get my corks higher? I can swing through, but not quite enough to do another flip. So you don't want to be high when you do multiple cork swings, really. You want them to be lower and faster. But if you already know how to do a cork and you're trying to do cork swing cork, the problem isn't that you don't know how to do a cork, it's that you don't know how to swing and from a cork. So practice just swinging around the side and not doing real gainers, doing really fake gainers. That will train you how to swing out of a cork and how to keep momentum. And then when you're comfortable with that, you should be able to do cork out of it first try, because you'll know how to carry momentum then, and you already know how to do a cork, so shouldn't be too hard. Yeah. What have you been doing? You seem knackered.
Bro, I'm fucking knick-knacked. I can't get it together. Since I got back from Scotland, my sleeping's just been all over the place. Keep just waking up just in the night, and I'm just about for a few hours, and then I'm like, well,
right,
this is shit. So yeah, I've been sleeping all over the gaff. I had a nap unintentionally earlier on today. I'm just fucked. Like, my whole sleep schedule's fucked. But it's one of those. I think tomorrow, / tonight, if I wake up in the night, no matter what time it is, I'm just gonna get up and I'm just gonna have my day from because I can't keep just, I don't know, being tired in bed. I'd rather I think it's because I'm not training as hard right now because I'm resting. Right. I think my body's just got too much vinegar.
Oh yeah, coursing through your veins.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Omid juice.
Yeah, I'm just riddled with Omid juice.
Too much Omid juice. So we got a really good question here. When are you growing another stash?
You know,
the people want it. The people want it. They miss it. They want it back. When's it going to happen, Omid? I'm putting your feet to the fire.
I hate it now, and also, but I might just do it just to stop people coming in.
I mean, ever since the days of 10 Ways to Mustache, people want the stash back. When are you going to make it happen? Give the people what they want. Everyone, unfollow Omid until he grows another mustache.
Can you stop that, please? Can you not do that? If everyone's unfollowing me, then you need to unsubscribe from KTL until I grow a mustache back.
None of that. Less of that. All right? Pack that in.
Eduardo's in here. I like Eduardo. He's a pesky little bastard.
He is, isn't he? He's good at the flips, though.
Yeah.
The martial arts.
I'm intrigued to see what the world's gonna look. I feel like this fucking virus situation is just gonna kind of be our lives now.
For a while, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but how long? Like,
I don't know.
It's weird because, like, I was just thinking, like, I want to go swimming. I want to start swimming because it's no impact and it's good cardio.
Of course, yeah.
But I can't.
Put the shrimp back in the water.
You know what I'm saying? I need to be back in my natural habitat, but they won't let me.
Well, we've got a gather. I mean, OMG's happening in October.
It's planned to happen.
Yeah. Hopefully it will happen. Gatherings are coming back. Is Hooked meant to be happening this year? Does anyone know about that? Have they announced it?
The last thing I saw, I think it was from Laurent, said that they're planning everything and they're moving forward with the plans, but it's kind of like a just in case it can go ahead type deal. That was the vibe I got. But no one knows. Because you can't, like, what the fuck are you going to do? Like, you can't plan the biggest tricking event of the year and then just have the whole thing shut down and have all these, like, hundreds of people booking tickets and stuff. It's just not, the one.
It probably won't. I don't know. It's just a write-off year, isn't it, really?
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. But I think everyone's heard enough about that, about the bloody COVID. All right, we got a question here. We got an exciting question. Tips for double cork. My twist stops at 1.5. All right. Now, you might think it's your twist causing these problems, but most of the time, people who send me clips who are like doing that, most of the time it's down to your takeoff. Because if you take off leaning too far back, if you throw your head and chest back, then you flip too fast, and then you don't have time to get 2 twists in. So you end up getting stuck at like 1.5. Maybe if you're doing 1.5 twists and then your feet are suddenly on the ground, that's probably what's happening. Really easy way to fix that is you can either think about looking at the floor in front of you or think about looking at your leg as it swings. What both of those things will do is stop you from throwing your head and chest back, because you won't be able to if you're looking down in front of you. And that will help you to take off in a more upright position. So you'll have more time to fit the 2 twists in. So give that a go for your single cork. Should make it higher. And yeah, try and get used to that. And then start committing to 2 twists.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone said y'all should shave your eyebrows. Should we do that?
I mean, we could.
I shaved my eyebrows, ? Insane. In like all caps at the end, maybe. Someone asked if I'm still doing classes for tricking, and all the gyms are shut. I'm not doing anything in person. I teach online, teach the world online. Everyone sends me clips. I have about 30 online students as well. So I do like Skype privates and clip reviews. But I also just do like more basic, like quicker advice just on Instagram for free. If you want help, then send me a clip and I'll help you out. What are you giggling at up there?
You're fucking ridiculous character.
Bit of that.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of bullshit going on at the moment, but not enough actual interactions with people. I'm missing it bad. Like, I feel like I just want to like see more than like 2 people in a week.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel better now. If you've been watching the lives, if you've been keeping up with the Omid and Kojo show, you'll know I've been whinging about how I was just by myself all the time. But my family are back now, so that's nice. I'm not by myself anymore. If you're worried, I know you're all worried, so yeah. Just thought I'd update you. Someone said, structured workouts for tricking. This is something that I've been doing a bit more of lately. Like, obviously, just kind of general working out will help with tricking, but one of the things I've kind of added in to like my body weight stuff is sprinting up and down like steep hills. I found that that's quite, well, I mean, I haven't seen all the long-term effects of it yet, but I feel like that'd be quite good, as I run up a hill that's like covered in roots and stuff. So it's not just like a grassy hill, it's like a muddy root covered hill. And if you sprint up and down that, you've got to be like really agile. You've got to be shifting directions, like pushing off these roots. So it feels quite good for the ankles and knees and for explosive power. So that's a little thing I've been doing lately. There's a lot of trick-specific workouts you can do. Doing leg raises with an ankle weight on your ankle helps a lot, because then when you take away the ankle weight, you can blast your leg back faster. And a lot of tricks in tricking rely on you kicking your leg back really hard. So that's a really useful like tricking workout.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been finding that just anything explosive lately is kind of having like, I don't know. So right now I'm a little bit injured, but I can still do some stuff. And yeah, it is. Someone commented Omid's face is the feels of 2020. I'm just fucking fed up, man. But well, it's not even so much I'm fed up. I just feel like a slug today. Like my brain is just, I feel like my brain's moving in slow motion. But yeah. But yeah, most of the, obviously depending on the type of physical kind of position you're in, for me, I'm having to just kind of reel everything back and just do much slower things and focus more on stretching and stuff like that. I can't do as many explosive things. But yeah, I've been enjoying doing that kind of stuff because it doesn't hurt at all, which is great.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice when it doesn't hurt, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not very often things don't hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, if you're watching live, ask us some spicy questions. If you're watching on YouTube, then drop us a comment on what you'd like to hear us talk about. Anything. Tricking related is good. We know a little bit more about that. But if you want to ask about, I don't know, anything, then go for it. And we'll do our best to answer in an interesting way. All right.
But hopefully animal biology related.
Yeah.
Street, yeah.
That's Omid's area of expertise, you know, as he is a shrimp. So
I am a shrimp, you see. Yeah.
Oh, we got a question here. To get a faster cork to swing, how should I go about doing that kick my leg faster? Faster J-step? Interesting wording. So you want to get a faster cork to swing. Well, how do you make that happen? If you're lower to the ground, then your hips and your legs don't have as far to travel. So if you lean back more in your takeoff, you're flipping around the lower point. So your legs aren't traveling as far. So they're going to get around, you guessed it, faster. So whip your head and chest back. That'll make you cork faster. Not good for double corks, good for single cork swings.
Someone said, there's a couple here actually. Okay, first one, any fishing tips for bass?
You got some of them.
Yeah. All right. So you're going to want to get a fake shrimp, pop that on the end of your hook, throw that in the water,
right.
wriggle it about a bit.
Yeah, wriggle it. Yeah.
Whip it out.
All right, whip it out. Then what?
You got yourself a bass, but to actually reel it in, you're going to have to do this very specific whistle and humming tune. Okay, are you ready? So it goes something a little bit like this.
You're pretty good at that. You've caught a lot of bass, haven't you? You've been
doing it for years, mate. Years.
We'll
do that one more time. It goes.
That's a seaman right there. All right. We got another question. Well, no, we got an answer to that last question from Nathan. What's he saying? Tyler, one thing that helped me is taking your time swinging and setting. So you have time to lean your head and chest back on takeoff. Very true, actually. When you're first learning cork swings, I wouldn't think about spending too long on your leg to start with, because you don't want to like overdo it. But people who are good at cork swings, when they're doing it into a power move, if you want to do a really powerful cork, then you do wait on your leg a little bit longer, because that allows your head and chest to go further back. Just like when you do a back handspring. If you look at a really powerful back handspring, you'll notice that they bend their knees quite a lot. And that gets them lower to the ground, sends them further backwards. You do the same thing in a cork if you want to do a really powerful cork. But I think when you're first swinging them, maybe don't do that because it'll make it quite hard because you're going to go really low and fast. But when you're comfortable, then get on it.
Yeah, don't do that when you've only landed it one time.
Yeah. Not yet.
You're just landing. You're somehow landing with your nose and your heels on the ground all at once.
You got to work up to it. Oh, that's a good comment here. Someone needs to try holding a bass while doing a double cork. I never thought of that. I never thought of that. Kojo's Bass Lab, maybe.
I love all these bass related comments.
No, we got some fire comments coming in today. We got tips for Scott's Doubleful. No, Scott Dubful. First, you have to be called Scott. So
you don't need to be called Scott. You can just get yourself down to the government office of name changing. You know the one.
Oh yeah, of name changing. Yeah.
And then just kick up a fuss and demand that you change both your names to Scott. So your name's Scott.
And then do a dubful, and you've done it. You've done a Scott dubful. Oh, we got tips for full on grass. All right. Little challenge here. Let's say we had to learn full on grass. Yeah. We were given tips on it.
Well, okay.
No equipment, no twisting experience. How do you go about learning it? Without a bass, Omid.
No, you get a bass.
No bass.
The bass will help.
You add the bass after you can already do your full.
No, everyone knows the bass helps you get the full.
All right, that's a disagreement. Different coaching techniques. What I'd say, easiest way you can learn a full on grass with no nothing, without having to slam all the time, I'd probably do it from a round off, because a round off, if you can get comfortable doing really high round off backflips, then you could do a really high round off backflip without tucking. You're kind of a bit bent up, not like straight, not tucked in the middle, like a bit of a puck. Do that and try and land looking over your shoulder. Next step, when you're comfortable doing that, try and turn your hips. You've done a backflip half twist. You just land looking over your shoulder, turn your hips. When you can do that really easily, do a backflip half twist and land looking over your shoulder again. Rep that out a bunch of times and then try and do a backflip half twist, turn your hips, look over your shoulder. You're done a full. Practice that a bunch and you'll be able to full. You just got to put the work in on each step. But that's, if I were going to go back and learn a full, the easiest way with no equipment, I'd probably do that. That would be, yeah. Cart full is kind of easier, but that you can't break it down quite as much, quite as easily.
Yeah.
Well, you can, but it's, yeah, I don't know. Do that. and then you want to get yourself a bass.
Well, that's what
like
people wanted to know. Where does the bass come into this? Is it step one? Is it 3?
So you want to leave it out in the sun for like a few days, and then when the bass starts to rot, then that's when you put down the bass and you round off onto the bass. You pop the bass, and that will give you extra height as it explodes and gets its like fish guts all over your feet. That's going to propel you upwards. It all starts with that. Oh,
no.
Here's a question.
Hang on. I want to ask, because Will Cone, the infamous Will Cone is in the building.
99 Scrolls. King of the Scrolls.
The Wolf, the Kid Wolf. And I want to ask him a direct question if he's still here. I want him to ask us the thing that he's always wanted to know about us. And then we'll answer that question. But anyway, someone said, well, the bass helps for twisting. Yes, it does. Yeah. And then what was the other one? There was another comment that I wanted to add. Oh, yeah, okay. So someone said, I'm so glad this show is back. It has made 2020. And we really appreciate that comment. That's very
nice.
It's very lovely of you.
We get more negative than positive on this.
Yeah, we do.
Because with everything else, it's like with clips and even with the vlogs and tutorials, then you probably like 49 out of 50 comments pretty positive. With this though, I think after we started this, within like 30 seconds, and we got a comment that was like, cunt. Like, just instantly. But yeah, thanks for that. Cheers for that, mate. Oh, you got the Will Coney's question. You want to read it out, Omid?
Okay, so he said, how the hell do I become cheeky mates like you lot?
Oh,
that's a big one. That is a big one.
It's
it
something
takes a lot.
Yeah, you got to build up the cheek. You can't just dive right in. You don't want to just be a cheeky boy straight away. You could get yourself hurt that way, you know?
You're going to get those feelings hurt.
Yeah.
Because if the other person isn't on your level of cheek, it's just not going to match up.
Yeah.
Have we spoken about how I ended up forcing you into being my mate?
No, we haven't really.
So, we haven't. You remember the Ascension and Omid?
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay. So, when I first started doing tricks, me and Kojo was still kind of free running at the time. Well, I definitely was, and then Kojo was a little bit, but he was doing more tricking. And he was like, he would try and double cork and stuff. I can't remember whether you landed it, but I feel like maybe there was
just
I don't know. But either way, he was doing these cool flips, and I was like, yo, this guy's sick. And at the time, I used to think there's some kind of secret and like to getting good at tricks. I genuinely thought like if somebody gave me the right piece of information, then I would land a trick. Whereas I realized that's not necessarily the case. And so I used to I wanted Kojo to just kind of give me all the information. Anyone new that would come in the gym, I'd want them to give me the information. And so I eventually just kind of forced Kojo into hanging out with me and helping me with my flips. Because at first he was just like, this little skinny Dudley boy needs to fuck off. I hate it.
I just run away.
Yeah, he hated it. And I remember one time as well, like he messaged me to see if I was going to a session. And I got the message and I was so excited. I was like, oh, like I can go and do these flips now because I didn't even know about this session. It was the first uni session I ever went to. You messaged me and asked me if I was going. I was like, what? I can do flips today. I thought there were no gym sessions on a Sunday. And then that was the start of a 9-year-long relationship.
That mateship. That's horrible. I hate that. I'm never gonna say that again.
Oh God.
All right. Here we go. We got a question here. Should I learn cart front or cart full? I have no idea. You should learn both, mate. Learn both. Now, it depends on what equipment you have, which one you're going to learn first, and like what you're good at. Cart full, for most people, cart full is kind of easier, but that doesn't necessarily mean you should learn it first. Cart front, I'd say cart front simpler, cart full's easier. If you can already do a B twist, you'll probably get cart full pretty easy. If you can't, if you've only got like front flip, back flip, then cart front will probably come easier. But yeah, maybe start working towards both of them. If you don't have any equipment, it can be a bit awkward. There is a way to learn cart full where you do it without flipping and then you kind of add the flip afterwards. It's a whole thing though. But that's why I got this website that teaches you all these things. It's got like over 1,000 videos on there. It's good. Yeah.
Sometimes I just enjoy watching you and just listening to you talk.
What, watching my brain work?
Well, it's just like, oh yeah, like midway through all of this, you're just like, hang on. Spent the past 3 years of my life making this website so that people can learn tricks in the easiest way possible. And then you're like, oh yeah, that's the thing.
At this point, I don't think about it that much. I honestly,
I just think off.
What are you talking about? Let me finish. I don't think about the site that much. I just think about like the task at hand at the moment. So like I think about like my ultimate B-twist guide I'm making. I'm spending all day, every day trying to make the best B-twist tutorial that's ever been made. It's got drama. It's got monsters in it. It's got the most detail that anyone's ever done. It's like it's going to be a 40-minute long thing, but I'm not wasting any time. I'm making every minute good. So I'm just thinking about that. Like I don't even think about the website. I just try and focus on the one task. And then when I'm doing my next video, then I'll be focusing on that. So I'm not actually thinking about the website as much as just trying to make this video really good at the moment. So yeah, that's just kind of going on as well. The website's still going on. All right. What's this about Peen? We got a little Peen comment here.
Oh,
Also,
I was with Peen.
Oh, well, you could maybe answer that. You know, if Peen plans on making another big type documentary after COVID, maybe next summer, what do you think, Omid?
I don't know. Peen's a bit of a loose cannon in some senses.
Yeah.
You never really know what he's gonna do. Like, he always ends up surprising me. Sometimes I'll think like, oh, he'd never do that, and then he'll just be like, yeah, I'm down, and I'm like, what? But then I'll think, yeah, Peen will definitely do that, and he'll be like, no, absolutely not. And it's really confusing, but that's what I really like about Peen. Obviously, he's really focused on his art, and he's doing, he's. Sorry, my brain just kind of fell out my head.
He's got a big. You should tell the people. Peen has a big dirty cyst in his hip, so he can't trick at the moment.
He's actually got PRP sessions booked.
Does he? They injecting his cyst?
Yeah, because he was trying to go through the NHS route and stuff, and now he's got like this. He's got the PRP, X-ray.
I tell the people what it is, because there might be. This is actually quite interesting, like PRP, because it's something that I used for my ankle. I got like a couple of injections, and after using it, my ankle improved more in a month than it had in the 6 months before that. So I'm not saying it works for everyone, or if it even worked for me, it might have just been a coincidence or placebo effect. I don't know, but it seemed to help. And what it is platelet-rich therapy. Or is it? No, plasma-rich platelet therapy. That's it.
Yeah.
So they take your blood and they put it in this machine, and it separates it into all its different like components. And then they take all the platelets, and it's kind of golden. It's like this golden.
Spin it around.
Yeah, they spin it so it separates the blood. They take the platelets and then they inject them directly into like the ligament or tendon that needs to be fixed. And I got that in my ankle about a year after I broke it and tore my ligaments, and it did seem to help quite a bit. And I think I'd probably do it again. And it wasn't that expensive either. So if you got an ankle injury or some kind of ligament or tendon injury, then look it up. Look up PRP. It could help you. It helped me.
You know in X-Men, have you ever seen the X-Men where Wolverine actually becomes Wolverine, and they inject him with all the, what is it, the metal shit? I forgot what it's called. The adamantium. That's the one. He's in this coffin, right? And he has and he has all these injections all at once, and it's like it covers his entire body. There's like all these needles going in all over his body. I could do one of them, but with PRP and stem cells.
It's pumped full of cells. Oh, fucking hell. I was gonna make. No, I can't say that.
Just don't do it, because I know exactly what you're thinking. I don't.
Well, do you know? I was gonna say about where you'd get the stem cells from, and it would involve like whisking something. But I'm not gonna say what you'd whisk for those stem cells, because it's dark, you know. All right. How do I progress swing tricks on tramp to the ground? Interesting one. The difference between tramp swings on the ground and on the tramp. No, the difference between swings on the tramp and on the ground. So the main difference on a trampoline is when you jump onto your leg, you're going to hold your swing leg back for just like a split second while the trampoline pushes down. And then as the trampoline's lifting up, that's when you swing. Whereas on the floor, you jump onto your leg, you swing straight away as you push off. So it's really just a timing thing. And the more you can understand the link between the two, the better a tool trampoline's going to be. I have a video on that on Kojo's Trick Lab. Of course, I have videos on everything. But yeah, it's just a difference of timing. Try a tip to help you take off faster on the ground so that you don't use trampoline tech is try and think about not letting your heel touch the ground on your plant leg. Try and push into the floor. Don't let your heel touch the ground. That'll make you take off faster and with a straighter leg, and it'll make you push through your toes properly.
So while we're on that topic, I was watching I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast with Post Malone, obviously, and they were talking about ghosts.
Right.
And I wanted to know, do you believe in ghosts?
Me? Ghosts? Not really. Not really, to be honest. Nah.
Well,
Maybe
okay.
other I don't think I think maybe things that people thought were a ghost.
What would it be though?
So I believe that maybe like supernatural shit could happen, because the universe is mental.
It is
But
mental.
I think it'd be more likely that it would be like an alien or something to do with a different dimension rather than a I don't believe in like a dead person kind of reanimating.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I believe you could maybe there could be something, but I don't think it would be someone who had died. To be honest, I think it'd be someone else. That's a lovely pick, mate.
But yeah, no, I feel that. Well, Joe Rogan said something that I'd never actually thought about. He said, why are there never any ghosts on the beach? And it's true, because you never see ghosts in situations that are good. It's never like you're at a wedding and everyone's having a blast, and everyone's getting a bit tipsy, and during the ceremony, a ghost just pops up. It's always in scary situations, so the brain's probably playing tricks on them.
I think that's what makes me like not believe in it as well. Because why isn't there a ghost showing up at like the bull ring in town in the city centre? They don't show up in big crowds, and like why wouldn't they? What are they scared of? Are they shy? Like if there were ghosts that could walk around and go wherever, why wouldn't they just show up at like football match just on the pitch like hello? They want to meet Wayne Rooney. Like they can finally meet Wayne. Like, why wouldn't they?
They can finally meet Isel. If I was a ghost, I'd be knocking around like Isel, so I could see what his eyes are really like. Oh God. Okay. Well, the real hot topic at the moment is aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah. Do you reckon aliens are real? Because I think it's mental that people don't think that there's other life forms in the universe besides.
But do they not? I don't know. I don't think I've talked to anyone who has that opinion. I think the real argument's about are they on Earth or not? Because I think you're almost guaranteed that there's aliens somewhere in the universe,
Yeah.
There's so much of it.
It's massive.
Why wouldn't there be? We're here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's delusional to think that we're the most advanced life form. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, could happen though. Like there might be other ones out there, but they might all be like dumb as fuck.
Fucking idiots.
They got like one eye looking each way. They're crashing into each other. Like it just didn't work out on their planet. They can't quite speak.
They all just sound like they're from Dudley.
Someone said you can't prove aliens aren't real until you search the entire universe. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. I really like that I managed to kind of, I don't know, hijack this conversation about flips and turn it into aliens and ghosts.
It's all right. It's all right. Sometimes you need to talk about the important topics, You
don't know, mate. That comment doesn't make any sense. Maybe Omid is one doing weights tricking shit.
I don't know. Someone said Shosei is probably an alien disguised as a human. Maybe.
Could be.
Maybe. I mean, look at him. Little freak.
You can't say that about him.
Oh, it's all right.
God.
He can do. He's got his scoop quint. He'll be all right. He'll be fine. And just imagine, Shosei's just crying himself.
You can't say that about a child.
It turns out when he goes to school, he gets bullied for his tricks. Everyone's like, laughing at him for being such a freak, for being so powerful. Poor little baby Shosei. That's where his skills come from. Like everyone just makes fun of him, and that's why he has to just let it all out in the gym.
Oh God! But
I'm sure it's going great for Shosei. There's a question that keeps coming up that we should answer because
what is it? About ghosts.
I'm not even going to try and read that name, but they keep asking: should you have multiple short sessions or one big?
One big.
Multiple short or one big?
One big. That sounds like a name. One big.
Answer the question, Omid. People want to know. They're not wasting their time here. People watching this, they got shit to do. All right, their time's valuable, and they're spending it wisely, soaking up this important information.
All right. Okay, let me.
Multiple short or one big.
I think this should be a balance of one big and multiple short. So let's say if you're training like 4 or 5 times a week, if you mean in a day, then I guess it completely depends on your body and how short and how kind of intense you're going to make those sessions.
I don't think they mean in a day.
Well, I don't know. We've had periods of having multiple sessions in a day.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
Did that for
All right,
years as well.
The answer is though, you got to play it by ear. You know,
Just have a good balance. Just whatever feels right for your body.
Like maybe you're tired from the last session. Maybe just go out and have a half an hour drill session. Just choose like 2 or 3 things, rep them out, work on them. Maybe you've had 2 days rest. Have a 2-hour session where you do loads of tricks. You try a load of new combos. You go in, you have a great time. Like mix it up. And I think you can't really plan too far ahead as well. You've really got to go off how your body feels. That's what I just try and make the most of every day. Like I plan rest time, but for the most part, you can't plan too much in advance because some days you're going to wake up feeling trash. Some days you'll wake up feeling good. And you want to do the best you can around that. If you try and force something, if you feel trash and you still try and force that 2-hour session, then that's when you end up setting yourself back, getting injured, when you could have just done a really light session and then had a good one the next day or something.
Well, one thing that I've learned over the years is something that is really, really useful for me now in terms of the amount of time that I'll have in a session now. Because before I used to want, and it was mainly because I was impatient, but I wanted to have like that 6-hour long session multiple times a week, just because like you go through different waves. Like after 2.5 hours, you start really getting into the session. Then you have an hour where you're killing it and you feel great, but then you want to keep going. And then after that hour, you're dropping off a little bit, but then you have a second wave after like the 5th hour where you've kind of been taking it easy for an hour after that. But I think it's always more important now for me personally to have like that 1 hour 45-minute session, 1 hour and a half session, but then be able to train and not feel dead the next day. So instead of going and just breaking my body to like pushing my body to the 100% limit and then not being able to trick for a few days after, or having really, really light sessions for a few days after, I try and just have more consistent, like higher level sessions, if that makes sense.
But yeah, this is something you really have to work out for yourself. As it's going to be very different depending on your body and how long you've been tricking, what your tricking goals are like, and like how much time you actually have to do it and how bothered you are. So like try and work out the best routine for you. No one else's is going to fit you as well as the routine you can make for yourself. A different topic, but a pretty interesting one. Is a competitive mindset good, and comparing yourself against others? We've already got a couple answers here. Gianni says, not if it's making you feel bad about yourself or you're putting others down. If you use it for motivation, though, then it's good, in his opinion. What do you think, Omid?
For me, it really helped. But I think I was able to channel it in the right way. Because I think there's the kind of there's a negative way of being competitive, and I think there's a positive way. And you can either look at it whether you want to be competitive against yourself and you're just trying to one up yourself all the time. But like I would also look at other people, and I wouldn't look at them and think, oh, I wish they were worse, or I wish I was better than them specifically so that I could be better than that person and like rain down on their parade or whatever. It was more like I'd look at it as, that looks like a lot of fun and I do want to get better than that. Or I feel like I'm letting down, the people that are training really hard around me and all that kind of thing. But I would always want it to kind of inspire people and like make myself feel good with my tricks, because for the first like 5 years of me training, I pretty much just hated all of my tricks. I always had this weird thing where I was just like, everything I do looks bad. And it was because it wasn't being done in a conventional way. And it took a while to like start refining the stuff that I did in order for me to like it. But what about you?
I think it's definitely, it's something that can be harnessed for good. You don't want it to be, I think it's, you want to be in control of it. So try not to do, you don't want to let yourself just be feeling competitive whenever you see anyone doing better tricks than you or whatever. But you can like use it for fuel. You can, like, I've always tried to use it in any way that can benefit me, because really, like, you've got to be in touch with what your actual tricking goals are. For me personally, my goals are to make the style that I imagine in my head. When I dream about me tricking and doing all these amazing tricks, then it doesn't look like Shosei or Mike Guthrie. It looks like something I've never seen anyone else do, and it's my body doing it. So I'm aiming for that goal. But you can use other people, like use their tricking to help you get there. So maybe be competitive about how hard you're working on your tricks. If you see someone working harder than you, then think, damn, if they can do that, then maybe I can too. And even with individual tricks, like I was really struggling with triple cork before I'd landed it. And then I went to America and I saw, it was like Jacob Pinto, it really stood out to me. He was spamming triple corks and I was like, if this kid can do it. And then I went home and I got it like real easy because I was like, he can do it. Like, can't be that hard. So you can use that to like, yeah, you can use that to help you as well.
But it can become like, I think it all just depends on intention as well. Like you shouldn't be doing it, in my opinion. I think it can end up kind of being your downfall if you're constantly doing tricks because of other people. And it just means that you end up not being in line with your tricking goals. And it also means like, you don't get the satisfaction as much. Because
I don't think if it affects like what tricks you're training, like, you want to use it to help push your training, but don't let it affect the tricks you're doing. Like if someone's doing their cheat 12 and something to a shuriken curve, then try not to think, oh, I need to do that. Maybe just use that as fuel for you to like work on some other shit that's cooler, your own stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it's hard. You don't want to fall into that trap.
Yeah, it is kind of hard though as well. I mean, we've covered it a lot in the past. But there was another thing. There was another comment that I wanted to. Okay. Do you feel pressure to produce clips for social media each time you session? Do you care about your output of clips? That's something that we've both kind of dealt with in the past, obviously to different degrees at different periods and stuff. But for me, I care more so now because I'm in this like kind of, I've got this inner debate with myself as like, it would be good for me to post a clip because the algorithm will like kind of forget about my profile and it's a lot harder to kind of push my, you know, my business and my YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff if I'm not like showing up on people's Instagram feed and then if I'm not posting consistently on YouTube. But at the same time, I don't want to post the same shit and I don't want to post things that look bad to me. So it is like a constant annoying thing, but I go through in and out of waves of just being like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm just gonna post it because it's good for the business. But then there's the other side of it where it's like I'm just gonna post it because I like it and I know it won't do well, but I don't know, it's a weird one. It's quite polarizing.
And I've gone through a lot of phases with it as well. Like sometimes I do feel more of a pressure to get Instagram clips it's normally if I'm somewhere really, really cool, because I kind of think, oh, I like it inspires me to want to. Yeah. Like if I'm at a castle or something, I'll be like, oh, it'd be cool getting a clip in front of this castle. Whereas when I'm at the session, then I don't normally really get clips for Instagram. It's more just I film everything I do anyway. Is the thing. I film all of my tricks anyway. So normally just from the session, there'll be something that might be worth putting on Instagram. Yeah. But I'm trying to, like, I used to care more. Now I don't care that much about getting more followers or anything. Like, as KTL's growing, honestly, I'd rather have a smaller audience, like, relatively, compared to people with hundreds of thousands of followers or whatever, who are actually really into what I do and want to support it, rather than just tons of people, because I'm not really bothered about that. So I'm mainly trying to get to the point where I have a few thousand members on Kojo's Trick Lab, rather than just trying to have hundreds of thousands of followers or whatever. So that's my focus. So I spend most of my time trying to make my like tutorials as good as possible, and then talking about that on social media so that people see like what I'm doing and what I'm about. Because I'm all about like making, well, I dedicate my whole life to tricking. I'm about loving tricking and like being able to teach it and spread it and make it, and just, yeah, just talking about it and all of that. So I want to get a lot of people who are interested in that rather than just get loads of people. If I can have 5,000 people who are really into that, I'm set. I don't want a load of random people who are just like seeing the odd flip. I don't care if they follow me or not.
Well, that's kind of the same as me. Like, but that's changed. Like, when I first started making YouTube videos and stuff, I was like, I'm just going to start trying to document the things that I'm doing because I'm traveling a lot and I'm doing all this cool shit. It's good for me, and it's good to also, you know, grow a following, might be able to do something with it, because I've always had ideas of like wanting to start a clothing brand and whatever, and that's a good avenue. But then at the time, I was thinking, when I got on that journey, the sole purpose of it after a bit was to just get as many followers as possible, because I thought that would be the most beneficial to then kind of give me, you know, the finances to be able to keep doing what I was doing. And I quickly realized, once I had my first video that kind of started popping off, which was my video in Korea, it's better to have actual, like, an actual dedicated audience that are really into the things that I'm doing, which is exactly what you said. Because now it's more detrimental in my opinion to have had this one thing that's blown up, and I've got a video that's, you know, almost at 4 million views, and that's super fucking sick. But I've got like nearly 130,000 subscribers or 125,000 subscribers, but then the views from the videos that I make don't reflect that. And I think, I don't know, it's a difficult thing, because sometimes I do get caught up in the numbers, and I'm like, well, I've got all these people subscribed, but then no one cares about the videos that I'm making. But then I'm kind of stuck in a particular lane, because if I make one video about doing flips in public, it's going to get a lot more views, but it's not great for my body, and I don't want to just make the same video. So it kind of, I don't know, it gets a little bit difficult mentally as to what I should do.
Yeah, it's a tough balance, because it's like you're kind of better off in some ways if you just have an audience of like 10,000 people who watch every video you make and they're really just into what you're doing, than having 100,000 people who just likes one video. But it's a hard one. It's hard to get that, really. So yeah, back to the question. It's something that we've definitely thought about and talked about before, and you go through different phases with. I think you just have to you have to know what you want from it, from these social media apps. You don't want to just get caught mindlessly scrolling on them. Like, use them for a purpose. If you use it just to watch tricks, and yeah, use it just to watch tricks. But I think it's really good to know why you're using it instead of just using it. Yeah, that's what I'm realizing now.
Don't get pulled in and like waste hours of your day every single day, just kind of not even thinking about what you're looking at, just kind of being like fucking.
Well, little thing with that, which I think this would be useful for everyone to do. So whenever you see a trick that you're working on or you're interested in learning and you see it done really well, it's worth just screen recording that trick and then going on your camera roll, watching it frame by frame and trying to be like, oh, he's doing this with his leg when he takes off. Oh, his arm's here. Because I do that like every day at some point. Normally I'll see Alexander do something and then I'll screen record it and I'll just watch and like look at his technique. And I think if you do that regularly, you're going to really build up your knowledge and understanding of tricks. So I'd highly recommend doing that. That's something really positive you can get from Instagram for your tricks.
Yeah, I do that whenever I'm like working on different tricks. I usually have like a bank of tricks that I'm working on, and I'm studying particular people doing it. So whenever I go to the session, I just, you know, jog my memory, have a look through it again, think about how to approach it and stuff like that. And it's a really good way of kind of honing your analysis skills and also making something that isn't necessarily productive into something that can be.
Yeah, something actually, you get something from it. All right, one of these questions is: tricking on grass or concrete bad for health? I'm guessing it is. And then someone else said, just don't have prolonged concrete sessions and you'll be fine. That's one of those that really depends on your body and the way you do tricks. If you're doing tricks with sketchy technique, if you're really muscling things, then concrete is going to mess you up. Grass is going to mess you up. If you're the type of person who has like really high corks and you're forcing each one, then grass is going to mess you up. So it's all right if you have good technique in whatever you're doing. So maybe just do lower level moves and do them well. You just got to make sure whatever you're doing, if you're doing it on grass or concrete, you're doing it well. Because bad technique on dead floor, not good for your body. Good technique, I think you can be all right. So, yeah, just be careful. Make sure you're doing things right.
Yeah. Again, I think that's just dependent on the person, and you've got to find a balance of the tricks and also everything that you do outside of tricks.
Well, we got Will Coney's he's always on the concrete sessions. Yeah, Will, I see you doing tricks on concrete next to grass for some reason.
Yeah. To be fair, though, in America, it's kind of the same depending on where you are.
Yeah. But that's back to my point. Like, obviously, Will Coney's really good technique, really good controlled tricks. So it's going to be much more safe for him to trick on concrete than someone who's landing like all hunched over and really struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of depends on where you're at with tricks.
That's interesting. Will saying I spent a good portion training tricking on concrete. I kind of forget about that because
Made him strong.
Yeah, Will Coney's is an incredibly strong human being,
And
I wonder,
Johan as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder whether it's because I wonder which way it happened. Were they incredibly strong, or were their bodies more naturally kind of ready to do tricks on concrete, or did they do tricks on concrete and their body got adapted to it?
Well, this is one of the problems because of tricking being quite small and because of what we see. I always try to be aware of what we see because sometimes I do get messages from people, so I kind of hear about the other side sometimes, and it's like you'll think of Will or Johan or who else tricks on concrete, like Omid sometimes. Like you see some really good trickers who do tricks on concrete, but what about all the ones who did tricks on concrete who messed themselves up?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to hear about them. Like, I don't know how many. I know that for sure there are people who do tricks on concrete or hard grass and mess up their knees and their joints. They just mess stuff up. But you're not going to hear about them because they're not going to have followers. They're not going to be posting about it. You just won't see anything from them.
Yeah.
So I think that's something to think about. Like, I don't know the numbers. It could maybe just be a few people, or for every Will Coney's, there could be
There's
like
10.
40 people or whatever, who are messing themselves up. So, yeah, I don't know, though. I don't have the stats.
Well, it's a really interesting
something to think about.
Okay, when do you think this will happen? If you had to put a date, well, not a date, but like a year, like how long do you think it will take until there are, I don't know, like studies going on into these kind of things, like that we're always discussing? Sorry, I was just burping. I was burping while speaking.
Just every word. I don't know. I think over the next 10 years.
10 years. Yeah.
Like, I don't think they'll start 10 years from now. I think just over the next 10 years, then we'll see more of that. You know? I think I'd like to anyway. Because even if it doesn't come from tricking getting bigger and having more funding in it and more of an incentive, it could just come from people, as more and more people do tricking, some of them are going to go into that kind of line of work. And then because they're interested in tricking, then they'll study tricking. So I think there should be some of that, but more of that over the next 10 years.
Well, Will's saying, which is weird actually, he's just reminded me, when I was with my first girlfriend, I would kind of do this as well. He said, because I used to train late at night on concrete because I wanted to get good and be strong on all levels. I've taken massive injuries on concrete, but I've also been dedicated to it mentally. Now, I completely forgot. I did the same thing. There was like a part of the road that she lived on that was just like a big open space, and it was like kind of round the corner, and it was just perfect, lovely concrete, had loads of like street lights and stuff. And I used to just go over there and I'd just do like scoop pot flashes and try and do scoop up fulls and stuff. And like, I'd never do anything that I couldn't do, but I would do things that were like, they felt really heavy. And I know it would kind of been good for my joints at the time, but like it did help with my mentality towards tricks, and it helped me build that mental fortitude in order to be able to like really push the mental barriers that come with learning these tricks.
I think it makes it it does give you a lot more confidence in gym. Like on the subject of mentality, like when you can do something on concrete, then you're like never really gonna fail it again in the gym. That's what I feel like. Anything I've ever, if I can do a trick on concrete, then I'm gonna be able to do it on a spring floor.
Yeah, I have that kind of mentality as well. It's always nice when you get that breakthrough as well, because it's like when you do try it on concrete. Like I remember when I was in Japan, I was at Shibuya Crossing and I felt great because of the heat, and I did touchdown raise full fairlong swipe 9 for the first time, and I was like, whoa, that felt like weirdly easy. And it was just like a nice thing knowing like that in order for me to do that on concrete and also like try and do vanish races out of it and stuff like that, I was like, this level is like, sorry, this trick has like ascended to the next level. And it was a good thing knowing that like, there's never gonna, now I can actually start pushing it, and maybe I can start trying hyper and like all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, it's a really nice feeling doing stuff on concrete when it doesn't feel like you're doing it on concrete. Yeah,
I get you. Like just when you're feeling really good, it feels cool as well. Not gonna lie. Like tricks on concrete do feel good. Like I always feel like I'm moving really fast when I do stuff on concrete. I think that's, I want to make sure I land it well. So you never like half-ass things on concrete. So I guess that's good for your training. So concrete basics, I think positive, net positive kind of, but you just got to know how to use them. Like, you know, some people, if you're landing all cross-legged and sketch, it's not good, is it?
Yeah, it's not ideal.
But yeah, if you're landing good, I don't know, make you stronger, make you into Will Coney's, get those iron legs.
I've got a feeling this might end quite abruptly because there's no timer coming up at the top, but yeah, I don't know. So yeah, if it does end abruptly, then thanks for watching. But yeah, I don't know how much longer we've got left, so we'll see. But Will said, well, the 2-minute timer's just come up. All I can say is this: concrete training kind of helps put into your mind the perspective of control and technical finesse, in my opinion. Yeah.
Fair, yeah.
Well, he said that shit does hurt, though.
I get the same with grass, even. I guess it's because I'm the most careful man alive nowadays since I ripped my ankle into shreds. Then, like, I have to do everything really carefully just on grass. So I kind of get that same feel from that.
Yeah.
Someone said Ryota lands with his legs hella crossed on concrete. I don't know how he's uninjured because he's a teenager and he's really tiny. It doesn't last forever.
I wanted to speak on this because and we've only got a minute left, but just basically a quick thing. Whenever I see these kind of things, like I really, really hope whenever I see any kind of sketch landing, all I'm thinking is like, I hope there does come a point where he just fixes it, because otherwise it's going to end up putting him in a situation where he's going to just be regretting that one time where it went really wrong, because you start feeling too comfortable and you start doing things that are just not safe, and then you regret it for several years to come.
Yeah, I mean, we both used to land like that until we like tore our shit up, and now we still feel the same pain from that like 7 years later. So it's like, I don't know, it's something to take seriously, something to be careful with.
You're going to want to look at the people that have already gone through it, not the people that are currently going through it. So you can look at Ryota and think, oh, well, he's fine right now. But if you look at me and Kojo, we are fine, but learn
could have been a lot
mistakes. Yeah. But yeah, we got 10 seconds left. So thank you for everyone who joined. Thank you, Will, for imparting your knowledge and your experience. And we miss you. 3 seconds. Peace.
Peace.